Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's D-Town. I'm like Mr. Clean. I appear out of nowhere. Jeff Tampa downtown. Subtle, no hair. I'm like FEMA.
Oh my god, that is so
like
good. I almost want to let the whole thing play out. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Silicon Valley After Show, and you're hearing the magic music of TJ Miller, who
The
plays
extended
Erlich.
play EP. Check it out on Spotify.
Good
It's 2 years
God.
old, but still, I just found it.
It's just as good as when the day it came out. It holds
He's a
up.
man of many talents.
He is a jack of all trades. That is impressive. But we are here talking about episode 3, Bad Money, with our panel. I'm your host, JB Zimmerman.
Hey, I'm Kelly McInerney.
And my name is Quinn Scillian.
Nice.
How's it going, guys?
Hey.
So yeah, right on to TJ, because he's obviously fresh on all of our minds. We cut to him in the living room. He's obviously getting some herbal medication to get inspired. And Richard starts telling the group about Gavin Belson's offer.
Seems like he's pretty, he's thinking about taking the Hooli offer.
Exactly. We left him in quite a spot. He obviously needed money for lawyers. He did not know what he was going to do. All the other groups had pulled out. So he was very much so in a pickle, looking like Gavin was the only way out.
Didn't you guys kind of think at the end of last episode that he wasn't going to take it, though? Like, I mean, like, right. Like, I was surprised that he was actually even, you know,
right, considering it.
Yeah.
It very much so seemed like a deal with the devil. So, you know, I had resistance towards that, but at the same time I didn't see any other way other than the preview of like a new character coming into the
but
mix.
it's interesting because we're like, oh, thank God someone could come along and like save them, but that's not really seeming to be the case.
Yeah, so this new character, Russ Hanneman, is very much so a Sean Parker type character. That's the vibe that I got. He kind of comes in, thinks he's a know-it-all, and just tries to run the business a little bit more than
kind of like shelling out like all this know-how, you know.
He put radio on the internet.
So both music guys, actually, if we're talking about, if we're comparing him to Sean.
I guess maybe that's why they did that, though.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
Sense. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
To draw another parallel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he seems very much so that type of cocky asshole. That,
I mean, what a dick. This guy was just brutal.
Yeah. I mean, again, the satire of the show really takes it to the next level, but it was just so funny to everything he did, from scratching his own McLaren car with his pants to calling some random guy to the house.
An $800 meal, like steaks, tiny steaks. That's what he said.
Yeah, like a Korean barbecue or something like that.
Steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that would... It didn't seem that nice of a place. I mean, I know he said it was like $800 per bite. But he was being very weird about it. I don't know why you would not chew your food.
I don't know. Because he's pretentious.
Yeah, just let that marinate in your mouth.
So it's interesting that we... I don't know. It's just like I was really excited that Richard wasn't going to take the Hooli offer, because like recently the show's kind of been like, if Richard follows his instinct, good things happen. You know what I mean? And it kind of felt like it was his instinct to follow this Russ guy and sign and take, you know, this. Well, actually it was fake, but take this $5 million check from him for you know, to get funded. And it seems like it wasn't. I don't know. It seemed like maybe you were going to regret this decision.
Do what you want to do, not have to do.
Right.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm sick of doing what I'm supposed to do. I just want to do what I want to do, and I don't want to be at Hooli.
Yeah,
because all the guys are like, if you go to Hooli, we're out.
Right. I mean, he didn't have a lot of options, but at the same time, Russ was very much so appealing to all of his better sides, I guess. It was again, like The Social Network. Justin Timberlake kind of comes in and sweeps him off their feet.
Tells him everything he wants to hear.
Super cool guy. You think at first with a fancy car.
Fancy car, wines
taking him
and
out, wines and dines.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's it's good to see another character in the mix, kind of setting up maybe a future villain. We saw a little foreshadowing, I think, with Contract, being that he has 2 board members, he gets equity in the company.
Because it's a loan. It's not. He's not.
Right.
So he could kind of renege that at any point. It seemed like that.
Yeah,
was
I think they mentioned that. Yeah.
And he very much seems all talk. I mean, I know he is giving them money per se.
Yeah, but he's spending a lot of the money that they need on stuff that they don't want, like these billboards and this slogan that apparently costs them a lot of money. I am Pied Piper. It's like
when they don't even have like a
product.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, he's definitely spending more money than he should be, especially since he's supposed to be hands off completely. And even more so, the fact that he's not that, like, his track record isn't that good. I mean, he's got a bad reputation in the industry at large. And also,
he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything for 20 years.
When you Google him, it's like Russ Hanneman, douchebag, Russ Hanneman,
like
sexual
assault.
Yeah.
Yeah, not looking good. Bad PR.
Especially because in our next in our little preview, it seems like we're gonna have a girl join the group.
Yeah, and also he is not good with like picking out people. Like he thinks Zach Wood is the guy that fucks all the time.
I know this guy fucks. Which I think that was great. He was like, oh well, thank you so much.
Oh man, yeah, probably nothing further from the truth there though. With his character, I'm sure Zach Woods is very successful.
We got an insight into Jared's love life in this episode, a little bit, which I assume is what his celebration was. We didn't go into too much detail.
Exactly. But yeah, even Richard sees some holes in Russ's success just based off of the numbers he's given. You know, he kind of did his whole math breakdown of whatever he's made since, you know, he made his first big chunk of money. And it wasn't good. He said less than 2%, which is less than a CD, which is, I don't know if you guys know, a very conservative investment. It's kind of where you put your money in a slow growing, interesting.
Well aware.
But also he doesn't want revenue either. He just wants a bunch of money at once.
Right. So he wants zero revenue. Yeah. Which is interesting. I mean, it sounds crazy. It has some merit sort of in the examples that he was talking about.
Yeah,
Snapchat,
that's what I was thinking
Facebook.
too. When he was saying all those things about, you know, that if you give him a dollar sign, it's never going to be enough and all that stuff. Like, that's, you know, kind of true.
Right. I mean, I'm not an expert in that field, but it definitely sounds like it would make sense. You know, not having a steady revenue lined up, you know, like
especially
people
when we're
aren't
talking
asking
about
those questions.
Companies that are making so much money, such huge amounts of money, you know. I mean, it's like always feels like there's like more, there's always more.
Right.
But you can't really compare an app to Amazon, you know?
That's
like,
true.
I know Pied Piper's gonna be awesome, but it's not like Amazon is its own monster.
I think I don't really understand what Pied Piper as an app is. I mean, just a compression, just so you can send things to people easier.
Right. I mean, there's a few websites and stuff. I mean, I don't know if you've tried to
like
send
you
like
send
a big
it or like
email
Hightail or whatever. Yeah.
Similar to that, but it would just make any data sharing very easy. So, you know,
like Dropbox.
So I wasn't sure if Pied Piper was going to be like on its own, like just an app on its own, or it was going to be like a part of like a bunch of different you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's both.
I think the future is a little uncertain, and that's kind of where they're trying to figure it out and see if they do want to stay as an app. Obviously, Russ will probably have his own agenda with the direction of Pied Piper. But I think that that's going to be an interesting thing to follow this season for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and they kind of have to like get a move on because we're kind of getting the feeling that like, you know, the app world is like ever changing and it's like evolving very, very fast. Like both Dinesh and Guilfoyle's apps are pretty much rendered useless at this point. So it's kind of like, we got to get going here. Exactly.
It was interesting. They first sort of abandoned ship and then they realized that they didn't really have anything else and kind of wanted to join the team again.
Yeah, I know. Interesting that they were trying to like take advantage of Richard and try and get like and trying to like employ all these people. I'm like, that doesn't seem like, shouldn't you want to
are though?
Good point.
They're just dicks.
Yeah,
they
are. They are. They're such assholes.
Yeah.
In a way, yes, but I mean that was the first instance of the actual boss versus employee relationship sort of coming out. I mean, they live together, so there's many gray areas.
Doesn't it always just seem like Dinesh and Guilfoyle are just going to trample over Richard like every step of the way? Like anytime there's anything is up in the air, they're always just like. Shut up, Richard.
They just want what's best for themselves, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately. But I guess, you know, you gotta be like that. Maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
but also, like, you know, the friendship aspect is there for sure. And I think
Yeah.
that's, like, one of the most important things about this group of guys. You know what I mean? That at the end of the day, they're kind of all in this together.
Well, now they are. I mean, now that they've admitted
That's
that.
High School
yeah.
Musical, by the way.
Nice,
If you guys
nice.
didn't know.
Nope.
That's a gift for all of you at home. Thank you
Alexa
so much.
did.
Alexa
Alexa.
knew.
Good stuff. Golf clap. But no, it's interesting to see them do that just because, you know, they are without another plan. Like, they don't really have another safety
There's no
net.
plan B, really.
I think they were just messing with him, though. I feel like they were just saying big number. You know, ultimately at the end, I feel like they would have just went with whatever.
I know.
Right.
I just thought it was funny. These like, we know we have to do this.
Yeah,
this, and this,
15.
And this.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
like,
like, I need
could've done it
15
with
people.
two.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, really? 2 people can do all that? I know nothing.
I just loved when Russ saw Guilfoyle and was like, "Look at this guy. This
I
guy
know.
had a rough
I
child."
want to know what kind. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would be easy
So
for people to take advantage of someone like Richard.
I
I mean, he is
know,
very
because he's
smart, but
like-
he's such a pushover.
And he's not
Yeah, he
even.
is.
He has so much hope. You know
Right.
what I mean? That he just wants to do. You know, he'll basically do anything that he thinks you know it will take to make this company a success.
And he's asking everybody for advice, even Monica, who's not even with the company. You know,
No, she is though.
Right. Well, she still has
She's-
5%, I think.
Something-
No,
with
I mean,
Raviga.
yeah, Raviga
Yeah.
does because Lori was pretty bummed about co-investing with Russ.
Right.
Yeah.
Seemed like there was like some serious history with them.
Yeah, she
I think
is
it's-
not a fan.
Not
Yeah.
a fan.
Not at all.
Just his history.
Just his history. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably true.
There's no way she did anything with that.
Well, I guess I didn't mean like a romantic, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be quite a twist, though,
That'd
if
be
it
really
was.
fun. Yeah.
I mean, her character is such a robotic, like, emotionless
I know.
person. It was interesting to see her kind of have, like, some type of past to wrestle with, but still maintaining, like, the stone wax statue type of
Yeah.
approach. It was interesting.
Did she tell Monica that they have to like pull out of Pied Piper if Russ is going to be involved? Is that what the end of that conversation
No,
was?
she just
Yeah.
not.
I don't,
She was
I
just,
don't
like,
know if
bummed-
they,
she was
I
just,
don't
like,
know
bummed
if they
about
can
it.
pull out
Okay.
completely.
Yeah.
I think they just want to take more of a step back approach. Like, we won't be engaging
Okay.
at all
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of step back, it seemed like Russ was going to be kind of letting Richard and the gang kind of do whatever they wanted, and then he kind of comes in and
Takes over.
and they couldn't even have like an entire meeting because he's
Right.
like texting his or like calling
Yeah,
his buddy.
talking on the phone,
Yeah.
super loudly.
How is he friends with that weird dude though? Like,
I don't know.
this is like
People
a
with-
big
people
burly
with money
guy
have,
playing
like-
Candy Crush or whatever.
You know, they like cruise.
Yeah.
Just the entourage.
Yeah, just general
It's the
entourage.
token fat bouncer guy.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting also to see TJ take a much backseat.
We didn't see much of him
Super
at all
I
in this
know.
episode.
Yeah, I was.
Well, he
very
was
sensitive.
trying though. He was trying to connect with Russ.
He was.
on a douchebag level.
Yeah,
Douche to douche.
talking about his car and stuff.
But yeah, he just got the cold shoulder.
Wasn't
from
having it.
everyone.
the worst thing I feel like that can happen to Erlich, you know, because he.
He's not getting attention.
Any-
Yeah,
Anything,
he
like-
thrives on enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he's an
guy,
idea
like,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the Gavin Belson's anti-Semitic remarks at that
Yeah.
code or whatever that?
Little aggressive to call billionaire or to like equate billionaires with Jews in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Not
think
so
that
much the same.
this whole thing is going to be over after this episode, or are we going to see more of that later on this season?
I don't know specifically
Seemed
tied
like
to
I
Judaism.
I just feel
It's-
like when they
right.
they brought this
Yeah.
up, and I'm just like, that's kind of heavy. Like, I wonder if that's going to have some other repercussions.
I wonder if it's probably gonna affect the the lawsuit.
The lawsuit, yeah, that could
Well,
be.
yeah,
it.
he is building the monument in next to the bike shop, so
Yeah.
I know that.
Right.
But also, I think it's more just obstacles in Gavin's way. Like, he's such a powerhouse, money-wise, company-wise, like, who he is basically Google. So they really have to slow him down, like, in every way possible. So if he's fighting on all these fronts, it makes it harder for him to attack just the one
It makes it
issue.
more of a level
Yeah.
playing
Right.
field for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see him kind of struggle through this. It was cool to flip back to instant frustration for Gavin's side because we haven't really seen that. We saw him kind of in the boardroom frustrated with the video, but then he came out super strong at the end of last episode. So it's great to see that he's in tumultuous waters as well.
But then they find like a loophole.
They do.
Big
They
Head.
do.
And
With
Big
Big
Head,
Head. Your prediction, Quinn,
I know.
came true.
I'm so happy because I didn't actually know if he was in the season. I didn't really know if we were supposed to be like on the lookout for him or if it was just like, oh, his storyline kind of ended or whatever.
Right.
So here he is, seemingly being
back.
just as goofy as ever. Like he's so inept.
I'm curious to see where his allegiances lie, though. I mean,
Me
I
too.
think he already got a big chunk of money, so I don't know if that is a way to motivate him. I mean, more money is more money, so you can't.
Yeah,
like,
we were
everybody's got-
wondering
okay.
if Big Head was gonna kind of help fund Pied Piper. We were just kind of wondering if his money was
Right.
gonna have any kind of effect on what's going on right now.
Yeah, I don't even know if his decision making will be, because they might find a way. Gavin might find a way to just promote him and make some type of paper trail
know,
that
and he's, like,
incriminates
so
him.
That's
dumb
what it
that
sounds
he-
like.
Right.
Though in the previous
Super
like he's
devious
gonna
plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be doing the same thing but more money.
And Big Head has never like he just like every single time like Hooli has manipulated him in some way, he's like never caught on to it. He's always just like, okay,
Yeah.
give me money.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, he is a smart guy, but again, he doesn't really see the
But
big
not,
picture
yeah,
stuff.
he's not savvy though.
Right.
Not
Not
at
street
all.
smart.
Not
Not
street
street
smart.
smart.
No, but it's interesting that like he hasn't had any communication with Richard at all this whole season, which makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Yes,
They were best
definitely.
buds.
They were once upon a time.
We gotta have some
They
communication.
were
We
bros.
gotta talk. We gotta like hash things out.
Yeah. That's what happens when you join Hooli, though. You know.
I know, yeah. Just drift apart.
Just drift apart.
Classic,
I know.
classic Hooli.
And I love Jared was talking about his relationship with Hooli in comparison to all the Julia Roberts movies.
So funny.
Yeah. I can't believe. Yeah, so I guess he is Julia Roberts in this
Yeah.
scenario. He's the newly legitimized prostitute
That's him,
version.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key turning
But
point.
obviously, Jared has no intentions of ever working with Hooli again. I guess
Yeah.
that's the most important takeaway from that analogy.
He likes to be with Richard and Richard Gere. Richard.
Richard and Richard, yeah.
Yes. That hence why
Gear and otherwise.
It fits so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of, back to Russ for a second?
Yeah.
The $5 million check. I think that is probably the biggest red flag because he wrote, like, he literally signed a
fake
check he can't cash. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And how much do you think was on the check that they just got from him?
I don't know. I mean, he's
what I
setting their
wonder.
burn rate. So pretty much he's giving them an allowance every month.
right.
And
he's
so he
taking
really
out the
controls
money though of the billboards.
the billboards and everything else, right? Whatever else. I mean, I'm sure that's not going to be the end of his spending the money that Richard and them want to be in charge of or whatever. So he really is like holding the reins completely.
I mean, the one move with the billboard I did like and appreciate was the one
Outside
in front of Gavin's
Belson, yeah.
office. That is just...
But so aggressive. Richard is not an aggressive guy, and he's just like, this is just asking for trouble.
yeah.
When we're already in some, muddy water.
Well, yeah, definitely an act of war, as Gavin said, but
Yeah.
still, I think a smart one, rather than having it just on Jefferson Boulevard in blatantly in LA, people. But yeah, no, I think
I love it. You're having so much problems with like locations. You're like,
Yeah.
that place didn't even look expensive. That was Playa Red or whatever.
well, yeah, that's actually right next to my house. I'm very familiar with that zone. There is
We're on to you,
no
Silicon
billboard
Valley.
post on that strip, by the way.
Hey, it's a
CGI.
Fun
bigger
fact.
production than we thought.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how much that allowance is going to be, because I don't know if that can be a breach of the original contract. Like maybe they can bring that up later to get out of the Russ world.
Yeah, I mean, is there a way that they can get out of this situation or no? Like,
Yeah, did the contract say like you can't breathe, can't leave it or anything?
I don't know.
They didn't go into it in this episode.
Yeah.
I hope that is. I mean, maybe that's a loophole, or maybe they find another one. But I would hope.
I'm like, we
that-
need to jump ship like
Yeah.
ASAP. This
But-
is not good.
Exactly.
They're still stuck though because there's no other option again but Hooli, and then the other guys don't let. So it's like back to square one. You know?
Yeah, I know. And like I said, like it just feels like everything's taking so long. But you're like, no, you guys got to get this app moving, like
Right.
while struck by the iron's hot or whatever.
Well, yeah, as long as the lawyers and the litigation hangs over their head, it's going to be a really tough time. But if that falls, then I feel like Raviga can kind of step up to the plate again.
No, it's
and
not seeming like-
everything would be right with the world.
That's what I was saying. It just seems like this lawsuit is like not gonna go away anytime soon, especially now that they're gonna kind of pull Big Head off the bench.
I know. Ooh, that's gonna be. I wonder if he's gonna catch on, or if he's even gonna be smart enough to notice. Like, how much will they tell him?
I know. That's why I was wishing that he had been talking to Richard at all, because then he could be like, "Oh, by the way, you know, Huli," and then maybe Richard would kind of know what, kind of be able to guess what was happening.
But he like he didn't sabotage them, but he left them for Huli. Like, so they're not like talking at all. I feel like he's Team Huli, you know, even though he's got history with Richard. Like, he goes where the money is. Usually, with this kind of stuff, the you know, past history of friendship usually kind of can, like, you know, conquer all or whatever. So we'll have to see.
We will. I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Head, he's a lovable guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think in terms of being a friend, I think that he wouldn't. What we saw of him in season 1 wasn't like the I'm going right for the money. Like, he definitely had moral contempt with the whole situation and his friendship.
I totally agree.
I think Jared's a better fan.
I do too.
You know,
I think Jared's a better guy.
Jared's just a model human being.
He's stand up gentleman.
Yeah, well, it seems like he, out of all the other characters, has no agenda of his own, which is interesting because he doesn't.
The success of the company. It's so true.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, obviously, Guilfoyle and Dinesh have their own battle within themselves and rivalry, and they were clearly negotiating pretty hardly with Richard. Even Ehrlich, has his own motivations.
Actually, now that we're saying this, just prediction-wise, I wonder if maybe Jared, I don't know if he's gonna have some kind of a angel and devil on each shoulder at some point this season, in a way that he could either do something, because it's so in his character to just do everything,
right,
with more with this very strong moral compass or whatever. But I'm wondering if maybe there'll be a time when that's kind of tested in the season. Like how if
Big Head doesn't work, they could go the opposite route and be like, well, listen, Jared was with our company, and then went to that.
Right,
and then say that's how it started.
Yeah, interesting that they haven't brought that point up yet, really, have they?
Yeah, no.
That Jared was with Huli and then left, that they could say that it was starting there as well.
Does he know? I guess he does know that he left for Pied Piper.
Well, maybe not because of whatever Jared's job title was at Huli. He wasn't like a
Right. Well, I think it's
designer. He was just
because he's no longer at Huli. It makes it different. That's why Big Head is such a big play. Is because he's still there, and he can say, "Yeah, we did work on that.
Yeah.
I have proof in the form of these files, actual evidence."
Yeah, I do wonder if maybe they'll bring Jared in as a pawn as well, though. We'll have to see.
Right. I wonder if he would break though. It would. I
know, because
everyone has their price, but. I think they can find something to get him to snap or break, do whatever they want. But I don't know if it's going to be worth it.
I don't know. It's an interesting thought for sure. We'll have to wait and see. Now I'm very, very curious about the plot thickens. Sure. I'm also just really always curious about, or always kind of wondering how the relationship with Pied Piper and Ravika is going to evolve. I just feel like they're still around. They're obviously still very important and integral to the story. Right. So there must be, something's obviously going to kind of flourish there.
I think if Russ leaves, because it's pretty clear that they don't want, even if the lawsuit goes through, falls through. I feel like if Russ is still there, they still don't want, they're not going to come back.
Yeah, and
so they're gonna be our plan B, I suppose.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Ravika, I think it's technically Monica's fault. Not that it really is, but in the eyes of Lori, at least, it is, because she should have prevented that. She can't control them completely, but that is what her job is.
Even though Monica was really pushing the Huli thing.
Yeah. It sucks because what the boss says go. So she obviously had to kind of leave them by the wayside a little bit when Lori said we're pulling out, but. I wish that she had been a little bit more hands-on in the process, because they do still have a stake in the company.
Yeah, that's true. She was kind of gently nudging, but she wasn't maybe giving enough of a. She needed to maybe give them a ultimatum.
Exactly. Well, hopefully we'll see her kind of plant some seeds against Russ, or maybe formulate a coup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She seems to be pretty thrifty, that one. I think she might be able to figure something out.
Definitely.
We'll see.
Cool.
But yeah, before we get into predictions, I think we've got some news.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that TJ Miller is a incredible
rapper. Everybody download it.
Thunk.
My friends were very disappointed that I didn't know about it yet,
Oh,
but
really?
that's unrelated. TJ Miller's gonna be he's cast already. This is kind of like month-old news, but I mean I just found out as the Weasel in the new Deadpool movie, which is actually filming already. Like there was photos released of Ryan Reynolds, and I think they had a photo of TJ, but they said it's not safe for work.
No.
Well, I don't know.
Fair enough.
And Alexa told me that Weasel is Deadpool's best friend, which is good to know because I didn't know that. So thanks.
Yeah. TJ's good on the best friend move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just had an article on Vulture.com. It came out 2 days ago, the 24th. Yep. And it talks about being on Silicon Valley, being in Transformers, and how like people recognize him for like just the show on Silicon Valley. Like that's my favorite comedy. But like he's up with Transformers. It's like, oh, you're that dude in that movie.
You're the guy from the thing.
Yeah, they talk about the epic dick joke from last finale and how
Classic.
they're gonna do better, like have a good season finale this one.
What was the epic dick joke? I can't remember.
On the billboard, how many, I believe it was how many dicks Richard could satisfy in like a small period of time.
Okay, gotcha. I remember that conversation.
Yeah, and it's a really good article. It's super long, not super long, but it's good to read through. It talks about him being Mr. Mucus too, and they're like, how'd you prep for that? And he's like, I didn't get my flu shot, so I really went through with it to be like Mr. Mucus.
That's
That's
just
an
silly
acting.
stuff.
commitment and dedication.
seriously.
Thank you, TJ.
Yeah, check it out.
That's vulture.com. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Nice, very cool. Well, shall we get into some predictions?
Sure.
Yeah.
I kind of already said
And
that.
now,
Didn't write
your
any.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I feel like we're going to upset the prediction gods.
I think that Big Head is gonna mess up, either for both teams. You know, he's gonna probably try and get some stuff from Richard, and then he'll probably accidentally like delete the files or something, like something stupid like that, because I feel like that's a Big Head move.
So you think he's going to come in the rescue at the end, or sort of sabotage everything?
I think he's gonna try and set because he's getting all this money. Yeah, I feel like he's with Hooli now, and I feel like he's gonna try and do what they say, but he's gonna fail at it, and they're gonna get mad at him, and I don't know if they're gonna fire him.
I think that he might come through friendship-wise.
Good. I don't know.
Maybe in the very end. Like, we're going to have to go through a lot of, him on Team Hooli before he comes around. But I could see him potentially...
Right. I mean, even if he doesn't have any role, he just knows about it or senses the change, even if they keep him in the dark, I think he would still be a good friend if he tells them what's happening, or that something's, like, they're...
Yeah.
like, winter is coming,
I think it's
guys.
going to be,
Like,
for him, it's going to
seriously.
be like 80% bad friend, 20% good friend.
I think maybe like in the end,
In the
like
end,
like the
yeah.
last minute.
Yeah.
If he doesn't mess up, he'll do right or whatever. But
Nice.
We'll
Some
see.
spark of friendship.
Eventually something with Big Head will turn out, I think, in Richard's favor, I think. I think. I said
Yeah,
something.
I hope so. I really want to see where this Russ thing goes. He's the clear villain, or he's being set up as that
Yeah,
way. Like,
definitely.
kind of drawing it away from Gavin Belson, or just in a different direction.
yeah,
I hope that Monica, and more specifically TJ, aka Ehrlich, get Russ out of the picture. I really want like a physical altercation between Ehrlich and Russ.
I hope that happens because you can.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
Then
it's similar to like last season when with the kid, the Adderall kid.
Yeah.
I want
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing.
That'd
but
be
more.
cool. It seems like he wants to connect with Russ though. In the previews, how he's like, oh, who wants these types of souvenirs, and he's like,
Well,
"Hey."
he's definitely
Yeah,
jealous
but
of
he's
the
gonna get
success,
slighted.
for
That's
sure.
the thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna get
Yeah.
slighted by him, or like he already has, and
I
that's
feel
gonna
like
piss
he
him off.
definitely has.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
he's
that
gonna
was-
come back with like, I don't know,
Right, just a vengeance.
revenge. Yeah, I think
There
so.
can only be one douche.
Exactly. I mean, he's kind of that role is
Yeah.
the kind of motivation guy.
I feel like
the-
Russ is what Ehrlich aspires to be, like,
Right.
Yeah.
money wise, and
Yeah, he's successful. He has a good car. Obviously, that Ehrlich was very clear to point out. He
Yeah.
knew everything about.
Yeah.
But it's kind of exactly who he would be. He even said, sort of when they were talking about it, like, oh, like, he made a savvy business move. It's kind of the successful version of Ehrlich in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's always hard for me to give predictions for this show because a lot of the things that kind of come to happen in this show are, you know, kind of like technical Silicon Valley kind of. That's kind of what is what moves the drama along, and like I can't really like predict those because I don't really know them.
Exactly. No, I'm the exact same way. I am not well versed in that aspect, but I do appreciate it. It definitely makes the world feel and authentic.
And it's so fun to kind of get to you know kind of feel like you're starting to understand stuff like this.
Right.
I love the idea that we're like learning about it while we watch the show.
Yeah,
but it does make it hard to like you know be like, oh, I think they're gonna have a problem with this contract. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, it's exciting. I mean, I definitely like watching the show and feeling like I'm learning something. It is very satirical at times, but at the same time, I feel like it could actually happen or something very similar could be happening.
Totally.
Which definitely makes it more enjoyable for me.
Agreed.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this after show,
That'll do
guys. Be sure to rate us, comment on YouTube.
Where can we find you online?
Where you guys can find me online at JB_Zimmerman on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Kelly McInerney, and you could find me at Holly Weirdo at Twitter and Instagram.
And my name is Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian, on Instagram at Quinstagram, and on Vine at the Quinn B. We'll catch you guys next week.
Nice. See you guys later.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.